What's up, guys? So today I wanted to film Mass Effect talks, but I haven't been feeling very well since yesterday. I've just had this lack of energy, complete lack of energy. I have a suppressed immune system, so I get sick easily, and sometimes it's just no energy whatsoever. So that's where I've been, and that's why I wasn't able to put up Mass Effect talks yesterday. So I apologize. I wanted to put it up today, but I'm still feeling kind of not completely myself, so I'm not gonna do it until maybe tomorrow. So most likely Mass Effect talks should be up tomorrow, and it's gonna be about the Geth. So I've got all the information. Should be a pretty good at Mass Effect talks. But I did want to talk about, I think most of you know that Comic-Con is going on in New York City right now. And yesterday it was pretty cool because Jessica Merizan, I don't know. She's the community manager for Mass Effect and Dragon Age. She put up on Twitter that we could ask any question because she was going to be interviewing Mac Walters and Drew Carpathian at Comic-Con. So I was like, oh, awesome! So I put up my question, and they actually answered it. I'm so happy. When I saw that, I was like, so cool. It wasn't, I don't think it was filmed, but she did put the actual manuscript typed on Facebook. She's doing this for all days, every day in Comic-Con New York City. She's putting up the manuscript of what happened for Mass Effect 3 and all that on Facebook. I'll put the links in the description so you guys could check it out. I'll put her Twitter up too, because right now she's putting up a lot of information, so that would be kind of handy to have. So my question was, has it been emotional for you guys to have to write the ending to some of the original Emmy characters? And Mac Walters, for those of you that don't know who Mac Walters is, he's the lead writer of Mass Effect. He's been writing Mass Effect since the beginning. So yeah, and he also writes the comic books. In answer to my question, I would say yes, a lot of times it is. A lot of times the scenes themselves are very emotional when you write the endings. For someone like me and a couple of the writers who have been on this now for 5, 6, for me 7 years of their lives, writing these characters, developing first in Mass Effect 1, their backstories and where did they come from, and now we're bringing this all to a conclusion. It's emotional. It's been a fun journey with the characters to see them grow and see them evolve throughout the three games. I mentioned to Seth Green, what's it going to be like not being Joker anymore? And he says, oh yeah, I don't know, it's been such a long time. So that was awesome. He did answer a lot of other questions that were pretty interesting. Someone asked if we were gonna be seeing Collie Sanders or Gillian Grayson from the books in Mass Effect 3, which I thought was a really good question. And he says, if the characters exist in the universe, we're making a concerted effort to make sure that they'll appear in Mass Effect 3. But he says, but since the last Mass Effect novel hasn't been released yet, Deception, that's going to be released in January, I believe, we don't know what happens to the characters. Oh, man. Freaking fly almost went into my ear. So he says we don't know what happens to the characters until that novel's released. So there's still some sources out there, novels, comics, that haven't been released. So we have to wait until those are released so we know exactly how the characters, if they will, appear in Mass Effect 3. And he's like, I'm not saying that's happening, because he's kind of giving a heads up, like saying they might die and you might not see them in Mass Effect 3. But he says, I'm not saying that's happening, but it could be a possibility. And I was like, oh my god, what if Collie Sanders dies? Oh man, I really hope she doesn't, because I would love to see her in Mass Effect 3. But I don't know, it just kind of like, I was like, what if she dies? Because the way that Anderson, I don't know, because Anderson's gonna stay on Earth in Mass Effect 3 to help the people and all that. And I was like, if Kali was alive, I don't know. I seriously don't know, but it just left me thinking. I was like, oh man, I hope she doesn't die. Another thing that someone asked that left me thinking, I was like, wait, what's going on here? Was someone said, what happens in Mass Effect 3 if your Shepard died in Mass Effect 2? And they've answered this a lot of times. They've said that, you know, you're gonna have to make another Shepard. But Mac Walters says, he laughs, and he says, well, that would be a bit of a spoiler, wouldn't it? But we do have, and then Jessica, the interviewer, cuts him off and says, wait, is there really something that you guys have prepared? And then Mac Walters says, perhaps there might be a moment for those who import a game where Shepard doesn't survive, but ultimately you'll have to have a surviving Shepard to play through the third game. And then she says, time to start another playthrough for anyone who didn't survive. And he says, yep. But, I mean, what does he mean by that? What does he mean by, perhaps there might be a moment for those who import a game where Shepard doesn't survive? A moment? I was like, what if they're gonna do something special? Like, what if they, I don't know, maybe they go into like a little scene where Shepard survived or something, or somehow he didn't die? Because, I don't know, because it's gonna kind of suck for people that got their Shepard killed and they really don't want to go back to do that playthrough again. Because I know a lot of people that's happened to, where they're just like, well, that's what happened, I don't want to go back and change it. And it would kind of suck if you had to create a new Shepard, because then you'd be like, my Shepard already died, and then you have to make another Shepard? It'd just be kind of weird for the storyline for those people. It would just be like, all of a sudden another Shepard appeared, like a clone Shepard or something. So they're probably gonna do something where, I don't know, maybe Shepard didn't die, like where you thought he died but he didn't. Because he says there's a moment, maybe on the collector base, it shows Shepard like getting out of the rubble or something like that. He didn't die, or maybe someone saves him, or maybe someone like picks him up or something. I don't know. That's gonna be interesting. But he kind of hinted at something that BioWare hasn't talked about, really. They just said, oh, you're gonna have to make a new Shepard or something like that. So I don't know. It's interesting though. He says that the Samara romance will be a part of Mass Effect 3. If you tried to romance Samara, there will be that will show up in Mass Effect 3. Oh, and he also talked about the multiplayer. And she says, Jessica says, you guys might want to hear this. This is about the multiplayer. She says, this is after the interview. She says, I started to talk about the multiplayer, and this is what he says about the multiplayer. There are two concerns I seem to see. One is it taking away from the single player? Why would you do that? Honestly, I have to say, that's not true. This is going to be the biggest single player experience, not only in terms of raw numbers or hours compared to previous Mass Effect games, but also biggest in moments. There are at least 3 different times in this game that feel like it could be the end to any of the biggest blockbuster movies. It's been a really fun game to work on. In that regard, we're pulling out all the stops. We're going for it. Anything goes. And I don't think anyone is going to be disappointed with the single player story. The other question I hear is it just tacked on to the single player campaign. I've played it and can honestly say that's the least of your worries. People internally are addicted to playing it, and it's a lot of fun. I think it really adds to the overall game experience. They've done a great job integrating it, so it doesn't feel like it doesn't fit in the universe. The galaxy is at war, and why aren't other people at war as well? Why aren't the Drell fighting? What are other people doing? And when it's Shepard's story, You don't always get to see that, and now in multiplayer it's possible. I have heard those concerns too. Those are the major concerns that I've heard as well. So that's Mac Walters saying you guys shouldn't be worrying about that. Mac Walters is the lead writer. But yeah, that was the interview. There was a little more to it. A few more questions that I didn't incorporate in here just because they weren't that big of a deal. They were they went more into like the development process and all that. But it's all pretty interesting. It's all pretty interesting. I'll put the link in the description for the whole interview. She does these every day, and her Twitter. If you don't have Twitter, I'll be talking a lot about this stuff, but she is putting up constant updates on Twitter as well. So I'll put that in the description as well. Another little update is Mass Effect Invasion, the comic book, the Aria comic book, is going to be coming out this Wednesday, the 19th. So I'm definitely going to get it on that day, and I will be doing a little like review for it and telling you guys what it's about for those of you that aren't going to buy it but want to know what it's about. But it looks like it's going to be really good. You could actually read the first few pages on Dark Horse on their website, darkhorse.com. I'll put that link in the description as well. You could read like the first like 4 or 5 pages. It's pretty good. I was reading it and I was like, what? There's this new monster, and I remember seeing this early on, where I was like, what the hell is that? It just showed like a side view of a new monster, and you're just like, what is that? But it shows more pictures in the comic, in the preview, and it looks like a Prothean husk. Like, I was like, oh my god, that's a Prothean. And I haven't read anything for anybody confirming that that's what it is. Probably someone already confirmed that that's what it is, but I haven't read anything yet. But that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's a Prothean husk, and if someone already confirmed that it was a Prothean husk, then I am the smartest person in the world. No, you guys should check it out, because it really does look like a Prothean, like especially here in the face. I was like, oh. So yeah, that's gonna be really interesting. If it is a Prothean husk, it's gonna be like, oh my god. It's gonna answer a lot of questions actually. So that's gonna be a really, really good comic, I think. So I will be talking about that on Wednesday. Oh, also I wanted to mention this since for a while now, but I keep on forgetting. Scottish Warrior 92, he put up a video a while back where we were both doing like these auditions for FemShep and MaleShep for the Mass Effect movie. It was like, you know, it was a joke, but it was pretty fun. If you guys haven't seen it, go check it out. I'll put the link in an annotation. But yeah, it's pretty funny. It's both of us doing like an audition for, I'm doing FemShep and he's doing Male Shepherd. So go check it out. And he also asked me, he's also doing like a casting call type of thing for the other characters. Someone already put up one of their auditions for different characters. I think he did Grunt. I think he did Garrus as well. I'm not too sure, but I know he did Grunt. He did a pretty good job with that. But yeah, go check it out. You could submit your video to him, or you could just, you know, contact him regarding any auditions that you want to do for any of the Mass Effect characters. It's just, you know, something for fun. I was thinking about maybe doing another one, but I'm not too sure. Yeah, so go check out that video. He explains what, or check out this other video where he explains what he wants from you guys. Should be pretty fun. I think he's doing it for a few other games later on, so yeah, he asked me to let you guys know that if you guys were interested. So yeah, that's basically it. And Mass Effect Talks should be up tomorrow, maybe later tomorrow. I'm gonna do my best to film it. So that's basically it. I just wanted to give you those little updates, and make sure to check the description because I'm gonna have a few links on there. And I will talk to you guys later.